I never considered myself the jealous type. In my mind, trust was the foundation of any solid marriage. And for nearly 8 years I believed we had plenty of it. My wife, Jenna, meant the world to me. She was smart, driven, and fiercely independent. Qualities I admired deeply. So when she got promoted to senior manager, I couldn't have been more thrilled. It might mean a few late nights here and there, she told me with a tired smile one evening as we sat at the kitchen table. I get it, I said, hugging her. You've earned it. I'll keep dinner warm if you're ever late. And I meant every word of it. Or at least, I thought I did at the time. For the first couple of weeks, things felt mostly the same. Sure, the late nights started to increase, but they were understandable. Soon, those extended hours turned into client dinners. Then weekends vanished too, swallowed by urgent deadlines. Whenever I asked about work, she'd wave it off with a sigh and say, "It's just the pressure, Liam. New role, new responsibilities." That became her all-purpose answer for everything. And maybe I would have let it go, if not for what happened one Friday night. She had fallen asleep on the couch, her phone still in her hand. I wasn't snooping. I wasn't even crying. But when the screen lit up with a new message, something inside me sank. Dinner meeting Sunday. Don't forget who you belong to. See you soon. I froze. My chest tightened as I stared at those words. Who you belong to? I read it again, thinking I must have misread it. But the words stayed the same, etched in my mind like a scar. It didn't take long to put it together. The message was from Martin, her boss. Everyone at her firm knew who he was, loud, arrogant, and rich. The kind of man who took what he wanted. I'd met him once at a holiday party. His handshake lingered too long, and his grin reeked of self-importance. I remembered the way he looked at Jenna, like she was something to be claimed, not respected. I gently shook her awake and held out her phone. "What's this?" She blinked, confused. Then I saw it, the flicker of panic in her eyes. "It's nothing," she said quickly, grabbing the phone. "Martin's just like that. It's a joke." "A joke?" I asked, my voice rising. "Doesn't sound like one." She went straight into defense mode. "I told you it's nothing. Just let it go." I tried. I really did. But something had changed. A seed of doubt had taken root, and no matter how much I wanted to trust her, it kept growing. Sunday rolled around. She left for her supposed dinner meeting, promising she'd be back by 10. I nodded, but inside I didn't believe her. That night, I decided I couldn't stay in the dark anymore. I knew exactly where they'd be, a trendy Italian place downtown. Jenna once laughed while telling me Martin considered the corner booth his private office. The memory made me feel sick. I waited long enough for them to get settled. Then I put on a suit, grabbed the spare key to Jenna's car, and drove downtown. The entire time, I felt oddly detached, like I was watching myself from a distance, just going through the motions. At the restaurant, a host in a bow tie greeted me. "Table for one, sir?" "I'm actually here to meet someone," I replied. "Martin Reynolds. He's at a private table." He hesitated. They requested not to be disturbed. I met his gaze and spoke coldly. "They won't mind." Whatever he saw in my eyes must have changed his mind. "Right this way, sir." We weaved through candlelit tables and elegant diners until we reached a pair of thick curtains. Behind them, I heard laughter, Martin's unmistakable voice, followed by Jenna's. The host looked unsure. "Would you like me to?" "No," I said firmly. "I've got it." I pulled the curtain back and stepped inside. There they were. Jenna sat across from Martin. Her expression went pale the second she saw me. Martin paused mid-bite, confusion turning to unease. "Liam." Jenna gasped, rising from her seat. "What are you doing here?" I didn't answer. I didn't even look at her. My eyes were locked on Martin. "I hope I'm not interrupting," I said coolly. My tone was cold, razor-sharp. Martin casually dabbed at his mouth with a napkin, leaning back like he ran the place. "Well, this is a surprise," he said with that smug smirk I already hated. "Jenna never said you'd be joining us." "That's funny," I replied, sliding into the seat opposite him. "She also didn't mention you were pretending to own her." That wiped the smirk off his face. "Liam, please don't," Jenna said softly, her voice shaking. No, I said firmly, finally turning toward her. Not this time. Martin chuckled nervously. You've got it all wrong. This is just business. Business? I leaned forward, keeping my voice calm but slicing through the air. Strange kind of business, no documents, no laptops. Just a bottle of wine and a man who thinks writing paychecks gives him ownership rights. His face turned red. You're crossing a line. I laughed bitterly, louder than I meant to. No, Martin. You crossed it. You thought you could treat my wife like some trophy, and I'd just roll over. Liam, please, Jenna whispered, her eyes glassy with tears. I looked at her, my voice softening just for a moment. I trusted you. I believed in you. And you let him treat you like something he could claim. She's here because she wants to be, Martin said, but he sounded less certain now. Is that so? I leaned back, offering him a cold, emotionless smile. Then maybe your wife would want to hear what kind of man she's really married to. Martin's face drained of color. You wouldn't dare. Wouldn't I? I reached into my jacket and pulled out a small voice recorder. Jenna gasped. Martin's eyes bulged with panic. What the hell is that? He barked. Insurance, I said calmly. I had a feeling this would happen. So, I recorded everything, your calls, your messages. You weren't subtle, Martin. A jury would have a field day. Jenna stared at me, stunned. You did what? She whispered. I didn't answer. I kept my eyes locked on Martin, who now looked like a cornered animal. Here's what's going to happen, I said steadily. You're going to move Jenna to a different department immediately. You're going to keep your distance. And if you ever contact her again, I held up the recorder. This gets out. Your wife, you're bored, your shiny career gone. Martin opened his mouth, but nothing came out. He looked defeated. Fine, he muttered at last. It's done. Good, I said, standing up. Because if you so much as glance in her direction again, you'll lose far more than your job. Jenna and I left the restaurant in silence. The air in the car was suffocating. She stared out the window, caught somewhere between remorse and pain. I gripped the wheel until my hands ached. My mind was spinning, and my chest felt heavy. I had nothing left to say. When we pulled into the driveway, she finally broke the silence. Liam, please say something. I shut off the engine and exhaled slowly. What do you want me to say? That everything's okay? That we can pretend none of this happened? I looked at her, defeated. I don't know if I can. Tears streamed down her cheeks. I never meant to hurt you. It never went that far. I let it get too close, I know, but I didn't mean for this to happen. I didn't want to lose you. I wanted to believe her, desperately. But broken trust doesn't just repair itself overnight. I loved you, Jenna, I said, my voice barely holding together. I still do. But I don't know if love is enough anymore. She reached for my hand, but I pulled away. The pain in her eyes nearly undid me. Liam, please. I didn't let her finish. I stepped out of the car, walked to the front door, and went inside. The house felt different. Colder. Emptier. Like everything we'd built had quietly fallen apart. I had already packed a bag before heading to the restaurant. Deep down, I knew how this night would end. I grabbed the bag from the hallway. Jenna stood in the doorway, broken, her voice barely audible. Where are you going? Someplace I can think, I said, my voice thick with emotion. Don't go, she begged. We can fix this. I'll do whatever it takes. I swallowed hard. There are consequences, Jenna. For both of us. Then I walked out. Martin lost his job a few months later. Turns out, I wasn't the only one who had dirt on him. Once the cracks showed, others came forward. Other women, more stories. His downfall wasn't dramatic, but it was certain. Slow. Inevitable. As for Jenna and me, we tried for a while. But the trust was gone. The love lingered, but that wasn't enough. We finalized the divorce a year later. It hurt. But eventually, I found peace. Revenge doesn't always come with fireworks. Sometimes it's quiet. It's choosing to walk away, dignity intact. It's reclaiming your strength. And in that silence, there's a kind of satisfaction that nothing else can match. Ask ChatGPT.